Cool. Alright, this is how Ben Edmond trims and preps a turkey to go on the smoker. You want to try and keep your juices contained so you don't cross-contaminate your sink and everything else, which I'm doing a terrible job of here. Remember to pull out your neck and your giblets packages. Alright. And checking the bird out here. I'm just going to cut off a little of this excess skin. Release the legs. Cut off the tail. Good sharp knife helps this process along. And I am a big believer in spatchcock. So for that, you want a set of heavy-duty scissors. Turn that sucker and just get right up next to the backbone and just start cutting. You're going to get to a point where you might want to turn it around and attack it from the other side. Get all the way through the backbone and then just do the other side. Right up next to the bone. Turn it around and do the other side. All right, once you got that, right here, just do a snip, and now it'll lay flat. Do a little bit more trimming here. Get rid of some of this excess. And look for the wishbone. Don't mind the cat. He's convinced he hasn't eaten in hours. I'm just going to run right alongside the wishbone right here. Both sides. Pull that out. This simplifies, it's not necessary, but it simplifies the carving process later. So there's that's half. Get right up underneath there. Just follow the bone with the tip of the knife. Inside here. Come on. There you go. Cut that wishbone out. I also like to trim the ribs off. So I'll just get my knife right up here behind the ribs. And just start filleting just a little bit. I'm just peeling back on that just so that I can see where the meat is. in order to get that. And again, what this does is it makes it really easy to serve the meat later. Cut it up into bite-sized pieces if you don't have the rib cage and all the other pieces that are going to go with that. Also exposes more meat where I can get seasonings on there. You can use your scissors if you need to. Cut that. There we go. We can actually just cut the rib cage out, just like that. Do the other side. You can actually go all the way to the end here and remove that whole bone, but then that doesn't leave you a whole lot of structure, and I like a little bit of structure just so as I'm moving the thing around on the tray that I'm going to use. Just makes it a little bit easier. Got that good. That's not bad. Just doing a quick inspection here. You can cut off the tips if you want. I usually leave them on. And then just start working the breast here. Just work the skin off. I'm gonna move a little bit of these giblets off to the corner of my board. Keep some paper towels handy. Kind of mop up your surface a little bit. And you want to try and pat your bird, because ideally we want them to be fairly dry when we're applying seasonings. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to start working this thigh up. And again, all I'm doing is I'm just separating the skin from the meat so that I can get a good seasoning layer inside there. I'm going to get good seasoning on the inside. Work this from the back side here. The more meat you can expose, the more you can pre-season it. And don't worry about being too heavy with this stuff. It does not overwhelm the meat at all. This is what the cat wants, these little giblet pieces. Go hunt your own bird. Leave me alone. Okay. If you need to take your knife in order to separate the skin from the breast, but ideally you want to just get your hand and work your hand in there. Separate it this way. Because the less you rupture the skin, it's easier to put the skin back after the fact. And I'll work it from both sides. A lot of people will glove up for this. And if I was in a commercial kitchen, I certainly would be. This is for home meats. I'm using a mixture of garlic, salt, pepper, celery seed, a couple different varieties of salt, a couple different varieties of pepper, white pepper, black pepper. And then I also like to use just some Italian seasoning, just give it kind of an herby flavor. There we go. And once I have that kind of sort of the way that I want, I've got a pan I've pre-put foil on, and a roaster pan. I'm just going to lay it with all that seasoning side down, skin side up. I'm just arranging this on my here. So here you'll see what I'm going to tuck these wing tips. Again, you can cut the wing tips off, or you can tuck them back up underneath. I don't have a rhyme or reason as to why I do it one way versus the other. It's just saw it on the internet, so it must be true. You do want these to be as set, natural as possible. All right, looks pretty good. Happy with that. That looks on the tray. Now I'm just going to coat the outside. For the most part, the skin doesn't get consumed at my house, so I don't go too heavy on that, but it's a part of the process. And I know it's putting flavor in. I did not brine these turkeys, but normally I would brine them. And then recently I added this rock salt, rock garlic, rock salt, and pepper to my mix. So just giving that a good coating. And that's what she looks like before I'm going to throw her on the smoker. I'm going to do it on the smoker for 375 for an hour and a half is when I'm going to start checking for temp, and I'm trying to get to about 155 on the breast, and then I'll let it rest to get it back to that 160. So check later.